Hi everyone, this is your English coach Siddhi and I welcome you to my YouTube channel Engaging English. In this video, I will be covering the first prose lesson from the Hornbill text class 11, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. The story is a real life account of the author's relationship with his grandmother and the changes that came about in their relationship over the course of time. Dear students, I know that you will definitely agree with me that the bond of love between grandparents and grandchildren is always very special. But have you ever wondered how grandchildren are more comfortable with their grandparents? It's only because the younger generation, like you, receives unconditional love and care from them. The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh is one such heartwarming story. This particular lesson has many themes, such as theme of love, theme of innocence, theme of kindness, selflessness, acceptance. Let us unearth these themes and without wasting much time, let's begin with the story. The author Khushwant Singh draws a very interesting portrait of his grandmother in this particular lesson. He presents her as a loving, caring, and deeply religious old woman. She is described as short, fat, slightly bent, having crisscross wrinkles on her face. The author even remembers that she used to hobble around the house in spotless white clothes. She was always seen telling the beads of rosary, as you can see in the picture given, and her lips always moved in an inaudible prayer. This shows that grandmother was a deeply religious woman. It is also told by the writer that it was very hard for him to believe that his grandmother was once young, pretty, and married. This is simply because she had been the same old woman for the last 20 years the author had seen her. You see, hence the expression used by the writer, the thought was almost revolting. The author even compares her to a beautiful winter landscape in the sense she was calm, poised, peaceful, and content in nature. In other words, according to author, she was a picture of peace and contentment. Now, let us see the description given by the author about his grandfather. The grandfather's portrait was hung on the wall above the mantelpiece. He was wearing a big turban, he had a long white beard, he wore loose fitting clothes. But according to the writer, he did not look the sort of a person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. So this is the image author had of his grandfather. Moving on, the author's parents had gone to live in the city, leaving him behind with his grandmother in the village. Grandmother and author were very good friends. She had well set routine for him at home. She would take care of him from sunrise to sunset. She would wake him up, get him ready for school. She would say her morning prayers while she bathed and dressed the author in the hope that he would listen and get to know it by heart. Of course, author listened because he loved her voice, but he never bothered to learn it. Grandmother then accompanied him to school, which was attached to a temple. While Khushwant Singh sat in the veranda learning the alphabet and morning prayers, his grandmother sat inside the temple reading scriptures. After they had both finished, they would head back home. On the way back home, they would feed the village dogs with stale chapatis that they would carry along. This shows that grandmother was a very kind-hearted woman. Students, it also shows that grandmother and the author shared a bond of love, care, friendship, and mutual trust. When the author's parents settled in the city, they sent for them, and this proved out to be the turning point in their relationship. The only thing that remained unchanged was their common bedroom. The things were very different at the city. Grandmother no longer accompanied him to school as he went by the school bus. He went to an English school. Grandmother could not understand English and did not believe in science. The fact that they were not taught about God and scriptures made her very unhappy. She was so disturbed to know that the author was given lessons in music. In her opinion, music had lewd and obscene associations, and she strongly felt that it was not meant for gentle folk. She almost stopped talking to him. When the author went to university, he was given a separate room. The common link of friendship between the two was snapped. She lived in her room, as she accepted her loneliness quietly. Yes, grandmother did not show any reaction, but she accepted her seclusion with resignation, without any complaints. She sat at a spinning wheel, reciting prayers. Only during the afternoon she would relax for a while to feed the sparrows. It used to be the happiest half an hour of the day for her. The sparrows perched on her legs, shoulders, and head, but she never shooed them away. Sparrows would surround her, creating a veritable bedlam of chirpings. This refers to the noise, confusion, commotion caused by the sparrows around the grandmother. She used to enjoy this time a lot. Yes, it is true that their interaction became less as the author grew older. Though the physical proximity was less, conversation lesser, but the basic foundation of their relationship was still very strong. When the author was going abroad, the grandmother went to the railway station to see him off, but did not speak a single word. She kept saying her prayers. As a goodbye gesture, she kissed him on the forehead. The author thought this was their last physical contact as he was going away for 5 years. But to his surprise, after 5 years, she was there when he returned. To celebrate his homecoming, she collected women from the neighborhood and sang song thumping a drum. She overstrained herself. She missed saying her prayers for the first time in her life. She was then taken ill. The doctor reassured that there was nothing to worry, but she stopped talking. She said her end was near. Next morning, her lips stopped moving. The rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. She was dead. Grandmother's body was laid on the floor, covered in a red shroud. Thousands of sparrows came and sat quietly around her body. After cremation, they flew away quietly without taking any notice of the breadcrumbs. Dear students, I know the end of the story is very emotional, but we can say that in the end, the author is not left with sadness, but with the memories of happiness of the times he spent with his grandmother. From a young boy to a grown man, she was always there for him. To conclude, grandmother was an epitome of love and sacrifice. She laid her heart not only for humans but also animals. The story definitely puts light on the need of companionship and friendship felt by our elders. So, students, this was about The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. Thank you for watching this video. I shall see you very soon with yet another exciting video. Till then, stay safe and happy learning.